Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungrun.
And we've got some stuff to talk to you about tonight. I do want to mention, during that intro, I looked up to make sure that I had the right podcast title this week. Only been a couple where I have not. Hydrate.
Oh, already? Okay.
I'm covering the brand because Aquafina did not pay us for this. But, yeah, you know, we got a podcast ahead of us. Just a quick reminder, the sound alerts are on. The channel points can be redeemed for all the different stuff. And because it is the start of the podcast, my name returns to normal Trey. And were someone to spend their points to change my name again, it would stay that way for the rest of the podcast. And then at the end of the pre-show for the next podcast, it would go back to normal again. So,
okay.
And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to be able to do that fun stuff on Twitch, because unfortunately YouTube doesn't have that option, come check us out on Twitch, because we're there as well. We wish that all features could be on all sides, but unfortunately they just can't. But
yes,
if you're on YouTube, you can super chat, and Twitch can't do that. So, you know, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's true.
And before we go too much further, we announced last week we were going to start it. It's time for the prediction.
All right.
Well, I'm going to put a prediction on the Twitch chat, and it will be, what is Rundgren's Corner going to be about today? Today cannot be there. It's too long. What are their options, Rundgren?
All right. Let's see. Do I stick with the theme we've been going through with the uprisings around the world? You know, we had the robots and we had the ants.
Mm-hmm.
Did somebody lose something very special to them? And a small child found it. I'm gonna get. You need one more?
2 is good. 2 is good.
Two is it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Animal uprising or lost item around the world.
Gosh.
It's too long. Lost item in the world. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Viewers, you have 2 minutes to guess the outcome, and we'll come back to it.
That
should be running now.
All right.
Do you get to choose my name or do I? I get to choose the name, but it is relevant to either something going on or something we're going to be talking about tonight. That way we don't have people choosing a name for me that is explicit and get podcast demonetized.
No one on the internet would do that.
I mean, you know, let's get into weeks.
All right.
How's your week been, Ruger?
Well, that's been pretty good. Had the video go up Sunday.
Yeah.
My whole algorithms were all. I have one song that did like 200 something views. So when the 28 days has passed, my monthly count is going to just drop.
Right.
Well, it's kind of funny, but I did get to work on it. I've got one more video to film. I'm trying to get that together for this Sunday coming up. We played. You know, we had MMO Monday.
Yeah.
Chickens in LOTRO.
Chicken days.
Or that was a strange little quest.
Yeah.
And watched through we watched the chicken run. That's right. The through the second disc, which is episodes 6 through 10.
Yes.
Gundam, right.
Gundam Disc 2.
Yes. The I can't make up my mind. What's his name? Captain Hinken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like him, but he kind of, I don't know. He's got this. He seems like a pirate.
Yeah.
You know.
I get that. I get that vibe for sure.
Yeah, out of the rebellion. Still not too fond of Camille.
Yeah.
Though there's things in the story that I think they're doing really well. They actually do better than the first Gundam.
Yeah.
And that's that show and not tell things.
Yeah, I agree.
You know. And but there's a couple of things in there that they put in that I don't know if they were like just answering to Tractor straight at that time.
Right.
For example, they go, "Yeah, we can feel their hostility even through the metal armor of a
Yeah.
Gundam."
Yeah.
Couple of times. I think they wanted to put that out there. Um, there's some interesting political stuff in there.
Mhm.
The separation of the human species into
Yeah.
two. You have Earthnoids and Space Noids,
Mhm.
and instead of just humanoids. And I think that might be a little bit in where Camille's coming from.
Right.
That he doesn't like that. What's funny is you go to space and stay an extended amount of time, it changes you.
Yeah. There's not
Literally.
a divide between two different
Yeah.
species as much as if this one is there too long, they become it.
Right. Well, but also, it does make sense that, also that the atmosphere, the gravity in space, the way you have to move and
Right.
do things is going to change things.
Mhm.
Now they sent a twin into space. He came back. His DNA is different than his twin,
Right.
his own brother.
Yeah.
Um, so it does change you.
Mhm.
Um, I've obviously in here, we get confirmation, you know, of who Lieutenant Quattro is.
Yes. So for anybody that does not want, let me put up spoiler boo, even though it's not really a spoiler. For anybody who does
Yeah,
not want to be spoiled
this
on who
cartoon that came out in 1985.
Lieutenant Quattro is,
Spoilers for American Tail.
my favorite thing about the reveal is they don't even really try to hide it. It's like they know you knew, and are just like, yeah, here's the proof that would already be in this room.
Well, it's like watching up to that point. It's kind of like, okay, they did all this, and all this is going on, but because the animation is better.
Right.
It is better than the first Gundam.
Yeah.
The details on the Gundams, whether it's even the Zaku's, which is base model
Yeah.
of the
Just look better.
Principality of Xeon, just look better.
Mhm.
The lines are tighter. And it's just done better. Um, there's definitely a lot more models,
Yeah.
and it's not just that some of them aren't really new models. They're reskinned.
Yeah, they are. New versions of GMs. The Hyzak gets a new variant here, and then we get to see the Marisai, which is like a mix between a Hyzak and a Rick DS.
Yeah, and the Jared.
Jared Mesa.
Yeah, the man.
I love him so.
I think he's not a complete dummy.
Right.
Like pulling the Gundam away, knowing and getting the Space Noid to
Yeah.
fight on the moon, so it'd at least be some gravity and it would be different for him. That's a
Mhm.
good strategy. That is a solid strategy. But man, I don't know where else. That's about all I can give him.
Yeah, yeah. I should say again, I love Jared. I get why a lot of people don't like Jared. I really, truly do.
Like,
Because
wow.
Jared is like an acquired taste.
Well, I think it does show in the story. It does show what the difference is with these new types.
Yeah.
As compared just to somebody who's really, really experienced.
Not
No.
that Jared. I don't
No.
like that Jared.
No. No. Not him. The not Lala. Not is it Lila? Lila.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lila.
Yeah. Going
Very
out
similar
and-
names in Gundam.
Yes, very similar. I think. Why is there a pink tube on my name?
That's because of the side effect of the projection of the guessing with the prediction. Everybody can see which side you chose. The one or the
So
two.
you get called out. You get called out for guessing.
Yep.
That was. I think they could have went just a little bit further, a little bit deeper with that character.
Yeah.
And between Jared, her and Jared, I think
I
that
agree.
I think that story would have been out. I see what happened to her. Okay. Yes. Also, the push to be like, hey, this is not, Camille's not an Amuro Ray clone.
Right.
He's not. He's not. And that kind of seems to be kind of pushed a little bit hard, especially
Yeah.
when you get into those episodes. Don't call me that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Camille's
I don't know.
still absolutely a brat. And I think he's a brat in a different way than Amuro was a brat. And I think of the two, Amuro as a brat definitely wins you over more in the first run of episodes. I think Camille takes a little while to get you running, but eventually I think you will wind up liking Camille. But I don't blame anybody that watches these first 10 episodes and goes, yeah, I mean, he's a good fighter, but that's about all he's got going for him. He's an angry little man.
Yeah, and look, they've come down. It might have been. This is what so many years later. But they kind of try to bring the curtain down a little bit on the new types.
Yeah,
and I think that, maybe that could be left up a little bit longer
I
because
agree.
it was so rare in the first Gundam, right?
I mean, we had what, 7 new types total? We
Yes,
had Amuro and Mirai.
Yeah.
Then we had Char, Lala, and the 2 new types that Cassilia sent Char to use. Shalia Bull, and then the other one, I can't remember his name. But that's it, as far as I remember. I guess Sayla was becoming a new type.
Yeah, and you could kind of argue on the Captain Bright side.
Yeah.
Right, that he had some new type stuff. But it was such like a rare and new things. And after that ends, now we are only 10 years later.
Right.
And they are everywhere.
Yeah. Like, they may not have ever said it out loud, but there's no way you can watch those episodes and not go, all right, so Lila's a new type, we got Camille's a new type, Emma's a new type, Quattro's a new type,
yeah.
Jared is becoming one, maybe?
Yeah. And I do. I think there's a lot going into it to get Bright and Char in the same room, shaking hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a liftoff point for the next disc.
Yeah.
That, that's going to come. Just that it may not be per se Bright and Char.
Yeah.
But that's a turn for the Earth Federation.
For sure. I have one last question for you.
Yes.
You don't know that much about her yet. She hasn't been around that much for you. What do you think about just what you know of Fa Yuri versus Frau Bo? Because it was a big fight when Zeta Gundam first came out of like, Fa is not as good as Frau Bo. And I would argue that Fa is like 20 times better than Frau Bo.
Okay. As far as story plot, we have to admit Frau Bo fit her part.
She did, for sure.
In that story. I also think Frau Bo is a lot more immature than Fa.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know that the comparison is really fair.
I agree.
Other than they both have dark hair.
Right. And are technically the childhood friend love interest, right? Yeah. But
what I will give points, say, going especially in the first block of episodes in original Gundam, you know how Frau Bo feels, right?
Right, for sure.
You know why Amuro is fighting. You know why he's sticking up for her. Why he's doing the things he's doing. You're kind of getting that now, but in Zeta, it's like now through these episodes, you understand why people are doing what they're doing.
Right.
But they're already fighting, and especially in Camille's case. Now they're learning why,
right? What's worth fighting for? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a little bit different story.
For sure.
We got a couple more discs to go through that.
Yeah.
What's that? But I think that pretty much covers my week, sir.
Okay.
How was your week?
It's been pretty good. I've been playing Guild Wars. I've been trying to beat the next Living World season so I can get the Path of Fire, the second expansion, so that I can make a video on that because people been waiting, people been asking. And it's really good so far. It's taken me a lot longer to beat than the other Living World seasons because taking my time with it, and I'm really enjoying the zones that are added with this one. It feels at the level of an expansion zone-wise. With these maps, some of these maps are the best maps in the game as far as I'm concerned. Bloodstone Fen is so cool of a map. I spent so much time just running around that map. I 100%ed that map. I got all the achievements in that map. I did everything in that map and got a really nice ascended piece of gear, an ascended ring for it, or ascended accessory for it. But no, it's really good so far, and the story has been really crazy. In a way that when I was playing Guild Wars before, it was, hey, the gameplay is really fun, the world is really cool, and I like the way the rewards are doled out. The story's just okay, right?
Right.
But this Living World season so far has really stepped up in terms of storytelling, and it's obvious that I'd been told at some point ARenaNet hired like a full team of writers. I really feel like this is when. Because it's dang good. Yeah, that's great. And then we'll talk more Guild Wars later, so I don't want to talk too much about it right now. But we had our Friday stream.
Yes.
Painting and building. And last week I showed off the build. So this week I'll show off the paint. We got a little intercessor boy all painted up. The green screen does not like his black shoulder pad. But he's all painted up red for the intercessor kill team. And I'm really proud of how he looks, actually. From a distance, he looks great. Which is, you're going to see him, you know?
Needs to, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one, we're still working on him. He's the one for 2 weeks from now. He's still got a lot of gray on him. But really happy with that. And then there's 3 more gray, unpainted, that are primed and waiting. And we'll get to those as well soon.
Fair enough.
But we'll finish the Barbados hopefully this week and see where we go from there. I'm thinking maybe an SD. I think maybe we'll do SD Gagagar just to mess around with that. I do love me some Gagagar. But those streams will continue, as you know. Just so everybody remembers, we're going to keep doing those. And then I played just a little bit more Digimon Survive. Haven't got to play too much, but I got some cool stuff going on there that I can't spoil. So been working my way through that. And then the last big thing I wanted to talk about, and I did make a video on this. I have to do a lot of editing for this video before I put it out because I wasn't very happy with the video and I want to chop it down into its core premise. But I played some more Eternal Return. Because the devs, I mentioned last week, a dev had sent me a package and I wasn't allowed to talk about it yet. Well, Eternal Return sent me a package with a bunch of characters and skins. And I checked it out, and it's still a really weird, interesting game. For anybody who's never played it, it's a MOBA Battle Royale. So you play a single character, you're not on a team. You load into a zone, you have to build and craft your gear and find pieces to make better pieces while surviving in a battle royale, but you're using MOBA controls. So you have like QWER and then a passive ability. Unfortunately, the first character I picked was the cool pirate lady with the crossbow harpoon who doesn't have an auto attack. And I've never played a MOBA with a character that doesn't have an auto attack at all.
Ooh.
So I died almost instantly. But it was a really cool idea. So I went back and I ran it back, tried again. Yeah. And I didn't win, but I had a really good time. It was a weird play style of you don't have an auto attack, but every couple seconds you can shoot out an anchor, and then you have to position yourself right so as she pulls the anchor back to hit the enemy in between you and the anchor. I'm not good at it. I don't think it really works, but...
So first of all, going defense with a crossbow didn't work.
Right.
And now, so you have to throw an anchor?
Yeah, you fire the anchor from the crossbow. It's a crossbow that fires anchor harpoons.
Sloppy.
It was a bit sloppy, yes.
Okay.
But was able to pull him back, and I got 7th, I think, in that match. And then I played as a character named Marcus, who is a like gang guy that's got a motorcycle.
Okay.
And he was a lot more fun. Having an auto attack makes a big difference. But I
Yeah.
did still lose. I think it's definitely a situation of this game is not super popular. So
Okay.
a lot of the games I got into had a bunch of bots in them. But you knew they were bots, right? They had the tag for
Right.
it.
Okay.
But the people that are not bots are people that played this game a lot. And so I wanna do like another
Yeah.
follow up after I fix this video and get it all set up and record
All
some more
right.
footage. But I do kind of want to go back to it because I think the idea of a MOBA with a character without an auto attack is really cool. I just don't think I'm very good at it yet. So
Hey, practice, right?
that's right.
Practice.
And then I'll be talking about not bot is that night bots. I mean
Removed.
starting
Brother-in-law.
Starting next week, we'll be talking about SD Gundam Battle Alliance because that comes out in just a little while.
Somebody's excited.
Yeah, gonna be a lot of videos coming out on that. Just be ready. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I read some manga too, but not really deep enough into any of it to really recommend anything. I did find out my phone has picture-in-picture and has had it since I got my phone. So I can be playing Pokemon Go while reading manga.
Well, it says tomorrow.
Yeah. It's soon.
I guess technically that is soon.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
But
All right.
anyway, expect me to have more manga read soon. Yeah, I guess I could give an update still on Vikings, but we're not done with it yet, and it's still really good, and I don't want to spoil anything for people.
All right.
So,
All right.
let's get into reviews. So, right at the end, by the way, for anybody that is waiting, right at the end is when we'll reveal the prediction. We're not going to do that until the end at Rungren's Corner, because that's where it becomes fun. So,
Yeah.
right. First off, I really wanted to have Battle Alliance reviews to talk about tonight. I really, truly did. But there are no reviews up on the site right now. So it doesn't even have a category because there's no reviews up for it right now.
All right.
So we could not, unfortunately, have any. But hopefully the game that we have tonight first will have you excited.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Saints Row reboot.
Now, reboot, remake.
Eh,
What is it?
They build it as a reboot. It absolutely is a remake. It still is Saints Row, right?
Okay.
But it is trying to reboot the series. It's an attempt to start over and redo the first game. So it's in a weird territory of it's a reboot, but they didn't change enough that I would say. But the things they did change, people are really torn on. So it's a tough category to put it in. And I think it will wind up, Saints Row 2022 will wind up in a very different category, I think, than Saints Row 1. When people go to talk about it later.
Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know, it's a Saints Row game. You play like GTA, except with a lot more sexual references and nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know any better way to talk about it, really. Oh, it's ad time.
Ad.
Ad time. Ad time. Oh, it's ad time. We need a fun little thing for like 30 seconds with, just a little video that can play. Do 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 do.
Play dinosaur.
Right. Faith is back. Oh, I could play sound bites until the ads are over.
Yeah.
You can't hear those, unfortunately, but
Too late, baby.
Yep. All right. So,
Saints Row.
what do you think?
82. 82.
All right.
I'm doing an 82. So we get a couple in.
What do you think, chat?
Oh,
Another
that came
82.
out 82. Yes.
We thought about doing the prediction system for this too, and we may wind up implementing it at some point, but I think our system right now is more fun. And the prediction system costs people channel points to use. So
Okay.
thank you. The ice cream is up now. It's only 10 channel points. It's not much. You get that back by watching like a minute and a half, but still, you know. So the score is 67.
Really? That low?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it.
Let me read some reviews for you. ACG says wait for sale.
Okay.
Then we've got let me read Gaming Nexus for you here. Volition's gamble to reset and reground Saints Row pays off generously. A visual delight with plenty of gameplay mechanics to keep players goofing off for days. And the Santo Alesso setting is one of the best in video game history. Sure, the shooting gets redundant after a while, but with so much to see and do, you can go hours in between gun battles. Saints Row manages to retain what players loved while feeling fresh and new. Other reboots take notes. This is how you do it. So,
okay, well that doesn't sound like a 67. Go ahead.
it also doesn't sound like a Saints Row to me. What do you mean? There's hours of stuff to do in between shooting. Just
Yeah,
to clarify, Faith, ACG gives buy, wait for sale, or skip as the three options.
Yeah.
And normally he's right on the money for trends as to how they go. But
Fair enough.
let me read you a couple more of these here.
All right.
We got IG in Italy says, Unknown series makes its comeback to the scene with a game which is overall funny, engaging, and explosive in its own craziness. Too bad there are too many bugs.
Is that the end?
Yep.
Oh.
This reviewer was having a great time, and then...
Yeah. What a shot. Okay.
Yep. Put that dog down, man. Man. Okay, hold on. There's like 3 really good ones I want to slot in here, and I'm gonna choose my favorite. Let's go with But Why, though. While there are definitely elements of Saints Row that really annoyed me, I still generally had a good time with the game. If you consider yourself a Saints Row fan, you'll probably find plenty to enjoy in the newest entry, even if some of its elements are weaker than others. If you were hoping for a major new take on the series or what it could be, however, you'll be left sorely wanting.
Well, honestly, I don't think they can make that game what it could be.
Right. I have one more for you.
All right.
And this one I could not read. VGC says, it's a below average open world game that's stuffed to bursting with bugs, and the best thing we can say about it is that making our Tobias Funke inspired character crouch over and do the wanker gesture while he walked down the street made us laugh. Probably not quite worth the price of admission.
All right, that was pretty harsh. Funny though.
I had to read it.
You just let that go. Yeah.
What do you think? Base
Right,
says 69.
Oh god. You know what? I think they're gonna bomb it. 53.
Okay.
I think we're gonna bomb it.
The score is 47%.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I had 2 different people that I watched their YouTube reviews
Yes.
that said on Twitter they weren't going to be reviewing the game because they had game-breaking bugs. There's the quack. Game-breaking bugs that prevented them from continuing any further and also corrupted all of their previous saves. One of them got stuck in a closet, could not exit, and the other one got stuck in an animation that made it where they could not walk anywhere because they were crouched.
Oh man. That's rough.
Imagine you hit a bug so bad where you're stuck crouching and you load a previous save and you're still crouching.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird bug because I think on some of the earlier systems where you had like save cards and stuff,
Yeah.
that's something that could happen.
Right.
at that point in time, that was something it was horrible. You didn't want that to happen,
Right.
but it could happen at any time with any game.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I just don't see how that. I could see how you maybe having something where you do a thing, you glitch into that.
Yeah.
If you do a certain amount of things,
How does it just happen now, man? Come on.
yeah. Oh, that's bad. Bad, bad, bad. Mm.
Next up, man, Saints Row. I remember when you were good. Were you ever really good though, Saints Row? That's the real question to ask yourself.
To be,
Look, I enjoyed
was-
Saints Row the Third.
you know, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of meant to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that was the whole point. And
Gotcha.
speaking of ridiculous, Soul Hackers 2 is next. And if you don't know about Soul Hackers 2, this is a JRPG trip, man. This game is JRPG to its core with crazy stuff that happens in it. It's an Atlas RPG, and that should tell you enough right there. For anybody who doesn't know, Atlas makes Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. This is like a mix of the two brands, but also with its own stuff going on in it. It's very weird.
Oh man, I want this to be good, just from the stuff it draws from.
Yeah.
You ready? All right, I got a score.
We got an 89 from Faith Ann.
Got. I'm gonna go 92.
We got a 92 from Rundgren. The X said we could go. Our score is 75.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I don't think that's a horrible. From the way it's described, I don't really think that's too horrible of a score, really.
Oh, Will came in with a 90. High expectations.
Yeah. Hey, you wanted it to be good.
That's right.
You wanted it to be good.
Outer Haven Productions says Soul Hackers 2 is a masterpiece done by Atlas in character development, musical score, plot twists, and overall story beats. A few technical hiccups and weird camera choice make this game not have a perfect score.
Read that last sentence again.
A few technical hiccups and weird camera choice make this game not have a perfect score.
Weird camera choice. It's a little bit understandable. And anybody who's played Resident Evil has ran into that somewhere on some version of it.
Yep.
So, but I can overlook that for great story though.
So I want to read this blurb, and I'm going to tell you right now, this blurb's not going to help you. But I want to read this blurb because Generation Xbox has one of the strangest blurbs I've ever seen that really feels like it's trying to get on the back of the box. Soul Hackers 2 is an excellent JRPG set in a world full of neon lights in which a terrible threat to humanity is posed.
What? No, he just wanted to define JRPG. That's the definition of JRPG.
Yeah.
Or one definition.
Right.
Oh my god.
I do have some actually helpful reviews for you though.
Okay.
RP Gamer says Soul Hackers 2 has obvious similarities and the same high standards as the parent series, including most of Shin Megami Tensei staples. It undoubtedly welcomes newcomers to the franchise in a friendly way.
All right, that's a nice little review.
And then let me give you one more here from Game Informer.
Okay. All right.
Throughout the 30 hours it took to hit credits, I kept trying to latch onto the elements that work. Soul Hackers 2's saving grace lies in its main characters, each with a distinct personality that often clashes with the rest. Witnessing the group's growth by putting their differences aside and opening themselves up to camaraderie was a joy.
Wow. This game touched me.
Yeah. I actually really enjoy blurbs like that because they may not tell me a lot about any of the technical issues or anything like that, but that makes me way more interested in the game than when somebody goes, yeah, you know, it's a JRPG and there's danger.
Yeah. Oh.
Really?
Anyway.
It's a shooter and there are guns.
Okay. I think these guys are going to go I'm going to go 78.
Okay.
Based on what you've told me.
80 from Faith. The X said we could go. Give it just a second for Will's answer.
They've upped
5.
it to 85.
The score is 60.
Man.
Which is unfortunate because everybody I've heard that's playing this game loves it.
Well, this may be one of those audience versus critic things.
Yeah. I think so. It's really funny, too, because even the negative reviews are like, yeah, no, the characters in this are great. So,
Well, the pedigree coming from
Yeah.
Persona, the series, that should be expected.
right.
I would expect that. So.
I agree.
All right, well, no ice cream this week.
Unfortunate, but maybe next week. So, next up, I keep checking for hydrates because
Yes.
jump tabs to do it. Next up, we have announcements.
Yeah,
We got
all
some
right.
weird announcements this week.
All right.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. You remember that game? It's the new Egavania game. Is crossing over with Journey.
The band?
No, the game.
Oh, okay. They got me have my attention.
That's fair. It's a really weird thing because it's crossing over with Journey, and they're gonna have a Journey inspired level. And this game has been crossing over with a bunch of stuff, right? But it just came out of nowhere. What do you mean? Journey's been out for PS3 era. Been nothing new for Journey, and Bloodstained's like 4 years old now at this point. I guess it's 3 years old. And just bam, here we go. 1.4 patch coming with a level from Journey.
Well, what you're not using that game anymore, right? Yeah, all right. We're gonna put something in it.
Yeah, not that Journey, Faith. But yeah, it's a kind of a weird thing. It just comes out of nowhere. They're adding the tunnels level to Bloodstained, and that level is going to be based on the imagery and level design of Journey, but with the Bloodstained twist.
Oh, we missed the hydrate.
Oh. There we go.
You'll load the game. Just a small town girl. Living in a lonely world.
It's just a weird thing to me, man. Like this would, and the weird, like I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just
Then
it came out of nowhere.
You know what? This still makes more sense to me than Doctor Who and Eve.
Yeah,
Online.
I agree. I fully agree. We haven't yet got to that ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that's a weird thing that's happening. And then, as if that wasn't weird enough, I'm trying to make sure I close the tabs as I go, so I don't. Dead Island 2 still exists.
Man, this is weird.
Yeah.
You've got the main game, then they had like DLC for that, right?
Mhm.
And then they announced this.
Yeah. Many years ago.
Yeah. This was close to the. Now, how long? The Xbox 360 hadn't been out that long. The 360.
Yeah, it came out. The first game came out pretty early in the 360's life cycle.
Okay. Just letting you know. We're still working on it.
It still exists. I'm trying to find the original announcement date. Because unfortunately, because of something else that we're going to talk about later, the dates have been messed with for searches.
You might have to see if it's in the archive.
Right, use the Wayback Machine.
That's how long it's been.
They try original announcement. Because all I'm getting is the stuff. 2014, June 9th, 2014, at E3 it was announced.
Wow. Well, we know where Bethesda's got their plans from. Following
The best
their
thing about
marketing
this
advice.
too is how it got announced. Because a lot of people have seen spoilers. It got announced at Gamescom and went, "Hey, that's how we knew it was coming back." But no, on the 17th, right after our last podcast, every time, Amazon put up a pre-order for Dead Island 2 Day 1 edition. Nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Somebody lost the USB drive and they forgot about it. Everything shut down. And as they were cleaning out a closet, they found it.
That's right. That's
right. Hey, remember this game? We'll put it out now.
It's crazy to me that it's like, yeah, this exists. And then like almost a full week later, we get the full announcement. Just also, my camera has unfocused now. Let's see if we can make it there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so yeah, that exists. We'll get back into that later, but it exists. So, Rundgren, talk to me about this new LOTRO expansion.
Yes, I will.
The level swords out in the woods on level 2 boards.
All right. So one thing I've been waiting on is September, so I can do an elf burglar.
Yeah.
And go through the story. But they are coming out with a new expansion before the Shadow. And the big thing for me on this, especially for people who haven't played the game in a while and they want to come back in, or people, your second, third character.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a new area, a new starting area that goes from 1 to 32.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me another. Actually, it's just another excuse for me to start over another character. In that,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but it'll cover 2 new zones. And okay, you've already passed where Amdir is in LOTRO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the story of Amdir.
Mm-hmm.
He became the Kargul.
Yeah.
Yeah. You finished that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where you're at. I think you're a few levels ahead of your main quest, right?
I am. I'm a couple levels ahead of it. I'm doing the stuff with the mountaintop. I just finished the mountaintop instance.
Okay. So in the storyline, at that point right there, I think you're a few days behind Gandalf staying there on Weathertop.
Right.
And the hobbits lighting the fire and everything. From the movies, people seen it.
Right.
So people are moving towards Rivendell. You're moving towards,
right.
Part of the other books is before the Fellowship comes together at Rivendell.
Right.
That. So this story is going to be Boromir's story.
Oh.
Now, yeah, it'd be kind of on his side of things, going through and getting himself set, or that's a timeline.
Right.
When Boromir's come into Rivendell.
That's cool.
Yeah. They've had a couple of things, and what happened was 2 maps leaked. And then they went, okay, we're announcing this.
Right.
I found one guy, I do believe, what was this? Bright Life Gaming. He got the leaks, was making his video when Standing Stone announced it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But man, I understand.
Yep.
There will be some more stuff coming up for LOTRO over the next few months.
Yeah.
Which that actually goes into some other news we've got, I think.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, tomorrow they're just having regular updates. I do think it's going to probably be at least a month before. Well, no, it won't be that long. Probably about 3 weeks, and then we'll get another.
Yeah.
I'm predicting another big announcement as they start releasing the first of what they've been announcing this year.
Makes sense.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Boromir. This next section here is going to take us a little bit. Gamescom has just wrapped up the first night. There'll be some ancillary announcements that come out over the next couple days. But the big drop has happened. The original plan, because we do this every year where we cover the Gamescom stuff, the original plan was just to go through them all. However, I watched a bunch of these trailers, and almost all of them are cinematic trailers. Almost all of them are CG. Very few of them are gameplay, and most of them are for games that we already knew about.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what I figured I would do is I'd run down the list of new announcements and the changes, like stuff that we got to see gameplay for that we hadn't before. And then anything that I thought really stood out, I'll bring up. Because I guarantee you we're going to get another couple announcements over the next couple days for next week's podcast. So we could do a big roundup then.
Okay.
The first one is kind of cool. Dune Awakening has been announced. This is an open world survival MMO in the Dune universe.
Don't test me.
So we made this happen Monday when we were talking about how everything used to make it an MMO.
Yeah.
We birthed this into existence. There's no gameplay. There's no release date. It's just the announcement, really. I don't even know if when they say survival MMO, they mean more like a Valheim or if they mean an MMO with survival elements.
Well, if it's on Arrakis,
right?
That space is harsh.
Yes.
Dune, I love the books. Yeah, I love the Frank Herbert, the original 3.
Right.
Especially the first book. It gets really weird.
Yeah.
It gets really weird. But man, I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about this.
Right. I need to see gameplay before I'm allowing myself to get excited.
What my mind went to was what was it? Was it Star Wars Galaxies? Was it the MMO?
Yeah.
Where at first, right, there was a lot of stuff to do if you wanted to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
And then everybody was a Jedi.
Yes.
Too much later. And there's only one Moab Dib.
Right.
So I wonder how they're going to go. If everybody else, if you just keep the players to normal soldiers,
yeah,
secret stuff, then I think it might be cool. But
and there's still cool stuff they could do with rank and file soldiers too. But
yes,
we'll see. Faith says that's what she said too. Star Wars Galaxies.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm putting this in, if I just had the discussions about it at that time, or if it was something that was mentioned around that time that when the Star Wars Galaxy came out, that Dune was being looked at.
Well, Dune has been on the vaporware scene for an MMO for a very long time, but this is the first time it's ever been given an announcement. Because there's been rumors of a Dune MMO.
Yeah.
Ever. But maybe this time it'll actually happen.
We shall see.
The second thing that was really shown off that was a big thing to me was there's a brand new... I'm so sorry.
Hi. Watch yourself. Catch it. Get it.
Oh, that can just happen whenever. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Oh, God. Kill it with fire. Let's go.
There we go. That's why we have those inhalers, man. So a new PlayStation 5 controller was announced in the middle of Gamescom called the DualSense Edge, and it's fully customizable. You can change out the stick caps. You can change out the back buttons. So Xbox did this a while back. They made one that was fully customizable. Quack. And it was not cheap is maybe the word to say it. And we don't yet know what the price is going to be on this one either. It could also be the same way. But this one has, just like that Xbox controller did, the Elite controller, this one has the ability to save function settings, memory settings for your different keybinds, and allows you to keybind. So it's pretty much their variant of that.
Man, that's I like Xbox, but Sony, PlayStation, they do have the edge when it comes to hardware.
I agree.
I do believe.
And this is a great controller.
Yeah.
It feels good. So I'm probably not gonna splurge for one of these right away, especially since we don't know the price yet. But when I need to replace my controller, why wouldn't I get one that I can,
Yeah.
replace parts in if
Well,
something breaks or
and for people that do have the money, they will get one probably just to set up a certain key binding for a certain game.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm going to use this controller on this game.
yeah, these are my
You know?
Titanfall 3 settings. If I
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
Titanfall 3.
Yeah, something like that.
From there, the Callisto Protocol got some actual gameplay shown off. This is the one that's being made by the old Dead Space devs, and it just looks like Dead Space in the best way. Hey, Dark.
Hey, Doc.
It just looks like Dead Space, and I love it. So
Okay.
I'm not against the people that used to make Dead Space making themselves a new Dead Space. Go for it.
It's
you're
what
gonna
you do well.
You're gonna love this one. Lord of the Fallen got announced. This is a
Why?
new Lords of the Fallen. Just a cinematic trailer, no gameplay, but look.
That makes sense because the cinematics are great.
I beat Lords of the Fallen. I did. I beat that game, and I really don't understand why. I beat it to review it, and then I was so harsh on it that I threw the review away. Yeah, I'm also really excited for Callisto Protocol now. But yeah, they announced a new one. It's coming. I'm the reason they fell. I made them fall. They're making a new Tales of the Borderlands. And a reminder again that this is not Telltale. This is a different company using Telltale's name. It could be good.
Yeah. Yes, it could.
We'll see. We also got some footage from the Expanse game that they're making, and it looked all right.
Man, so many games, so many companies are doing space games.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the ways that the Expanse show changed the books, and it looks like this game is based on the show, which makes sense. I mean, really, the show is the one that's in popular mind right now. It's the one they have actors for, they can replicate.
Yeah.
But
yes,
we'll see.
Yeah.
There's a new Dying Light 2 DLC called Bloody Ties that's coming. Seems all right. Destiny 2 got a new trailer for Lightfall.
Which level off Destiny is it, and why is it night now?
That's the question that I always have as well, is what is being removed so this new level can be added.
Right.
Nightbot says it's ad time again. We'll see. Sonic Frontiers got a new trailer, though, and the trailer actually looks pretty cool. It had gameplay.
Okay.
And it's a lot of running around as Sonic in what seems to be a really big world. Nothing's being removed anymore when things are added. Well, that's good for Destiny players. Are they adding back in everything they took out?
Probably not.
Look, if they will give me back the content I paid for, I might play that game again. But the fact that I can't play content I paid for means no, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, I don't mean to be harsh. I'm not harsh at you, Dark. It's at them specifically for going, hey, we're going to sell you content, and then when we decide that you don't need access to it anymore, we're going to take it away. And everybody just went, okay, that's fine. Let them do that.
It doesn't fit where we are with the story now.
Right.
All right.
Under the Waves, a new Quantic Dream game got announced. Again, cinematic trailer. It looks all right. Would love to see gameplay to be able to tell you for sure. Goat Simulator 3 got announced.
Right on.
Had some gameplay. Looked like Goat Simulator, but with some new stuff, It's coming November 17th. Return to Monkey Island got a release date, which we already knew was coming, September 19th. And they're adding horse armor as a pre-order item.
Of course they are.
The deal underneath says this item is useless. So,
So it's like horse armor in most games.
Welcome back, Will. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Moonbreaker got revealed. It's a turn-based sci-fi game. And
What did you say?
Moonbreaker?
Moonbreaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like
I
the
heard-
movie.
I heard Moonraker at first.
Yeah.
Really? We're making a Roger Moore 007 game?
No.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay. But it would have Jaws.
That would, yeah. Moonraker is turn-based and will have the ability to paint your miniatures in the game
That's kind of
that you're using.
That
So
could be
that's
fun.
interesting. The content vault isn't going away entirely. Showcase recap clarifies that seasonal content will continue to stay throughout the current expansion year and then move to the vault when a new expansion launches. Expansions themselves will remain available. So the seasonal content, for clarification, is still like levels and stuff, weapons, armor, stuff like that will be moved to the content vault. It's just not the expansions themselves. But that doesn't mean that old expansions are coming back. It just says the new expansions won't go in there.
Yeah, we're not going to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I paid for that, you jerks. Everything should always be there. I agree. Next up, we have Friends versus Friends was announced. It's a animals. It's a first-person card game shooter mix where animals fight.
I thought it was going to be the Friends cast against that South American ripoff Friends.
That would be great.
I'm playing it.
Unfortunately,
I'm
not.
playing it.
Homeworld 3 got a new gameplay trailer. It's coming next year. It looks really cool, but also like really detailed. Never controller thing helps. Yeah. True. Genshin Impact had a trailer here. Controller thing helps you. Yeah. That customizable one, nice. Genshin Impact got like just a little bit of Sumeru, but they showed like just the bare minimum of it. Like they didn't want to reveal too much here, so I assume they're gonna have their own thing later. Not enough to pull me back. I'm sorry, I can't go back to Gacha. And then Honkai Star Rail got a little tease of the story for that same thing. I believe you can watch it on their YouTube page, but it's a really long stream, so it might not be up yet. It might still be rendering. You might only have 2 hours available of it right now, but it will go all up on there at some point for the One Night Live deal. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, got announced.
Why is this coming back?
I don't know, but it's coming out next year.
But they have got, if you go to a Spirit of Halloween, you're going to find mugs, you're going to find the clowns, you're going to find stuff from that movie. How do people know what that movie is?
I don't know. When I saw the trailer was there, I was like, whoa, huh? What?
When they get, they're going to have the cotton candy cocoons, and this is insane. I know everything old is new again.
Yeah.
But this is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I don't understand.
There's a shorty animatronic this year. Oh boy. You're going to get that controller whenever you get a PS5. I understand. Man, there's so many weird things here, but in all of this, Hideo Kojima got a spot in Gamescom to announce that he's starting a podcast.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
Why not? Yeah. Why not?
I think it's almost a surprise that he's waited this long.
I agree.
And it's gonna be there's gonna be something in there that you will need to beat the next boss in the next Metal Gear game he makes.
Yep, you're gonna have to listen to it to get the clue.
Yeah.
Your internet's being weird? Oh no.
Sorry.
I don't know how to explain this one. There was a Pokemon concept car shown off.
Oh my gosh.
I came to laugh at
and
you.
This is something more than like a VW bug painted as Pikachu with an added tail.
Yeah, this is like an actual car designed to look like a Pokemon, sort of. I'm going to try and pull up the image here and show it on stream, because I don't know what else to do other than...
Is it any specific Pokemon?
No, it's just based on I guess maybe it's Pikachu, but because the red cheek's there, but the whole point is supposed to be you can hook up a game console to it.
Okay. So, look, they did that on Pimp My Ride. I don't see what.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a Pokemon mode where Pikachu takes over the vehicle's main display when the vehicle's turned on, while digital lightning bolts travel across the entire dashboard, and you can plug your Switch in and use the vehicle's screen to display the gamepad or the gameplay as long as your car's parked.
Do you get bonuses for playing Pokemon Go? Can you like have that open going down the highway as long as you're in that car
No.
and not catching? Oh, okay. Well, then I don't want it.
It is a Pokemon themed concept car that is loosely based on Pikachu, but I guess they didn't want to go too in on that because it's not yellow and it doesn't have a tail.
Okay.
That's the Pokemon car. Why that was shown off during Gamescom, I don't know. I understand why Kojima gets a podcast plug in the middle of Gamescom because he's Kojima. But, like, Nintendo's got a treehouse tomorrow for Splatoon. Why would they not just show that there?
Also, for Hideo, if anybody else gets shot over there, he'll have an alibi now.
That's true.
That's true. On the stream.
I was on a podcast. We got a new trailer for Warhammer 40k Darktide that actually looks really cool. They did a good job of showing some of the differences between the classes. Looking forward to that. Phantom Hellcat. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's Vermintide, Vermintide 2, and now Darktide.
Yeah, and Darktide is the Left 4 Dead like.
Okay.
Phantom Hellcat got a trailer. It actually looks like really cool. I just wish we got more of actually what's going on there. Kind of like a sci-fi side scroller with almost like a Metroidvania, but with like really cool looking action. So we'll see. And then, man, Dead Island 2 was revealed with a full gameplay trailer and a release date of February 3rd.
Yeah, that's good.
It's coming.
It is, yes.
It still exists.
Man.
And that was the Gamescom Live for the first night.
Turns out to be like such a beloved game and so great. That's going to be a little bit disappointing because everybody's going to go, well, you'll just have to wait 10 years to get the game.
Right. I mean, I have to play it because I offhandedly mentioned to my girlfriend earlier in the week, they're making Dead Island 2 still. And she went, what? I love the first one. I was like, all right, well, I guess we have to get the second one now.
Yeah.
I was not planning on doing so, but that's an excuse. I was planning on doing so.
Right on.
So I'm still blurry. No. Focus. Unfocus. Focus on me. There we go.
There goes. Okay.
I just have to tell it to focus on me every time. But that's Gamescom. And then the last big announcement we have for announcements is the Game Awards has a date. And that will be Thursday, December 8th.
Better buy it. Moonbreaker.
Maybe. I'm gonna wait and see some more gameplay first, but
yeah,
I'm interested.
All right. We're gonna do anything special for the Games Awards, or are we just gonna comment on them later and make fun of them?
It's hard to say. Last year we didn't, and we just commented on them later. The year before we did. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to see what we think.
All right.
I do think this year it has made it very easy for us to choose to do that if we do, because it'll be on a Thursday where we'll both be in the same location when it's airing anyway. But
fair enough.
We'll see. News-wise, this first story is something. Star Citizen is now 10 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
And still hasn't hit 1.0.
No.
Star Citizen has been in crowdfunding for a full decade and is currently at $494,182,284.
Golly. Ugh. I have mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Well, the crowdfunding can do some wonderful things.
Absolutely.
And from like really serious helping as a person out things to helping the small company out, develop a game for lots of different TTRPGs, tabletops. You've got crowdfunding is keeping some of them going.
Absolutely.
So I'm not against the crowdfunding, but come on.
Yep. And at this point, why would they release, right?
Well, honestly, I think we're probably rant a little bit here. We're seeing this generation, the drop in prices of this generation of, let's say, graphics cards, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see them go down. I don't think we're too far out from seeing the next generation, 23 or 24.
Agree.
And there's got to be some concern there for game makers. Is like, hey, here in a few months, we have this much power we can play with.
Yeah.
So I understand wanting to put out the best thing and on the best system and everything.
And that's what they claim they're still doing, but
well, you got Moore's law every 2 years. I mean, you're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah. And realistically, anytime it becomes a big thing, they just push out like hey, you can go fly your ship around now. I was like, oh, so you've had the technology to release something where people can fly. Why is there not at least a multiplayer deal, like an arena where people can play around in it after 10 years of development?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a scam, because people have been able to walk around inside their spaceships that they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on. But it is a little sloppy, as Faith has just used the sloppy sound effect. It is a little sloppy that it's been 10 years and there's not a fully playable demo, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd want a little more than the equivalent of a character creator.
Yeah. I mean, I'm legally not saying it's a scam.
But,
But I'm not saying it.
Yeah. And this is not the only game that's kind of fallen this way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call any of the names, but there was a couple other games that were made or supposed to be made where they ended up having to pay back.
Yep. Red Ash, Mighty Number 9, they rushed out a game.
Yeah. So it's a bit long. You're going to have to make they're going to have to make a decision. Are you putting it out this generation? Or are you putting it out next generation? Whatever it is, it's got to happen.
Yeah. And my gut says 10 years from now, it will still be not released, and it will go down in history as the biggest scam in gaming. But
after Diablo Immortal.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Don't you have fun? Speaking of the future, Embracer Group is buying everything.
Yeah. Yeah. They bought, what was it? The last purchase is Middle Earth.
I have a whole list for you here. Oh, we got to hydrate.
Oh, hydrate. Okay. Now, do you want to go into where this company originates?
Yeah, I think we should start there. I think you cover that, build us up to where we are right now, and then I'll hit the list of what they just did this last week.
I got it right. Didn't I say it was, they were THQ?
Yeah, THQ, and then they became THQ Nordic.
Nordic, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, if you played games for a while, you know that name.
Oh, yeah. And they died. Hardcore died on dev side. Yeah. Their company was ruined by the what's it called? The draw tablet that they made that put them under. And then somebody bought the name, and most of the staff, not all of them, some of them went on to go to Deep Silver, but most of the staff and change gears completely.
I think it's with the whole thing, and maybe somebody has a different view on it. It seems like they are an acquisitions company, or just specializing in acquiring one thing.
Yeah, that's what they've become now.
Yeah.
I have a list for you here.
Okay.
Just after the podcast again last week, Embracer Group bought Limited Run Games, which is the company that makes the limited run physical versions of indie games. They bought Singtrix, which is the company that makes a lot of the software that is used and some of the hardware that's used in a lot of the song games and has the mobile app Singtrix. They bought the IP rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit literary works by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yep. That's a weird, man. The way they have the rights divided up for Middle Earth is really something.
They bought Tuxedo Labs, which is a subsidiary of, or they are now a subsidiary of Saber, but it's Tuxedo Labs did a bunch of 3D work, and specifically they wanted Dennis Gustafson, the chief technology officer, was moved to head of the company basically in the new move. They brought Tripwire, which has made mini games like Killing Floor, Rising Storm. They bought they announced their 11th operating group of their mini groups, the 11th one of 11 now. Embracer Free Mode, which focuses on retro classic heritage gaming and entertainment, game development and production, devices, gear, and collectibles. So that's what all of those things they just bought are going to be looped into, I assume.
Yeah.
And they did all of that on the 17th. And then, as if that wasn't enough, on the 18th...
Wait, there's more!
On the 18th, they bought Tatsujin, which is a Japanese company that's made things like Toaplan, Truxton, Snow Bros, Flying Shark, a bunch of mobile games. They bought Bitwave and Geotech. Another hydrate. Thank you for that. It's a break for me. I appreciate it. Bitwave and Geotech are retro reboot companies. So they take old retro games and reboot them.
Yes.
And then they didn't tell us who, but specifically, Embracer has entered into an agreement to acquire another company within PC console gaming that, for commercial reasons, is not disclosed today. The purchase price for this undisclosed acquisition is in the range of being among either third or fourth largest of the transactions.
Oh. Boy, that would be a prediction to make.
There's a couple different guesses that people have.
Okay.
One is CD Projekt Red. I don't think it'll be that. I think that's pretty far out from their normal pickups. Some people are saying Daedalic Entertainment, maybe. They're the ones that are working on that Gollum game that's already in the Lord of the Rings purview.
Yeah.
And that would make sense and would probably cost quite a bit. But at this point, Embracer has so many companies that they own that it is ridiculous. They have more companies, they have more IPs now through all their acquisitions than Tencent and EA combined.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Man.
I think they're actually rivaling Ubisoft right now for number of IPs. Which means they're dwarfing Microsoft and Sony, because Microsoft and Sony don't actually own a lot of the IPs that we think are their names, you know?
Yeah, I am very curious about what they're getting next.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if that's going to be an IP or a way to distribute all these IPs they've got.
Yeah. We'll find out. Because I don't see them getting into console development, but I think there is a big chance that they're going to get into hardware. Because they also own the company that Mad Catz comes from, like the new version of that company. So they now own Singtrix. It really feels like we're getting a push for, hey, we're going to make games, but we're also going to make hardware.
Maybe so. Make some accessories. Maybe so.
Some people saying, well, they're going to be buying Ubisoft. It's like, well, Ubisoft is a lot more than a like small, like third or fourth. That would be the number one of their acquisitions, I would think.
Well, on one side, I'm thinking of something like GOG, Grando Games.
Yeah.
Or, that's kind of Steam type thing where there's a collection, there's a big collection, you can get through that.
Just had an idea, sorry.
Go
What if
ahead.
it's Atari? Because they picked up a couple different retro remake companies. What if they're picking up Atari?
Man, that would be something. That would be for a company that looks so much backwards for their content,
Right.
the IPs that they're picking up. That would be a great pickup. Because I don't know how many years, every 3 years, Atari pops up again.
Yep.
Just, trying to keep its head above water.
Well, that's the thing. Most of those Atari redone boxes that you can get that they sell are made by Bitwave in partnership with Atari. So it's just a thing to think about. Could be Atari.
Something to think about. Yeah. I'm just asking questions.
I realized that I did skip a game in the Gamescom stuff. I'm sorry. Let me cover that real quick because it is kind of a big one. Disgaea 7 was announced.
Oh, wow.
And it's coming out January 26th. And people may say, well, Disgaea is not that big of a series. It's huge in Japan, and it's pretty well loved in JRPG fans over here. But this one has a cool new feature where you can take one character in the map, and you can make them move off the map, and they become gigantic, and then can attack the map. So, yes, Disgaea 7, I will make a giant prinny. Thank you. So, throwing that out there. Forgot to bring that up. Then announcement-wise, next up, we have Guild Wars, or news-wise, sorry. Guild Wars 2 turned 10 today, and they made a brand new player experience.
That's good.
And I've already made a video on it. It's already uploaded. It's not public yet. I'll make it public either right after this podcast or a little bit after this podcast. That way we spread out those notifications a little bit. But I got 27 levels in 2 hours just messing around.
Golly.
And it's because the way they implemented it, basically on a per character basis, there is now, not per account, per character. So you can do it for all your characters if you want to level all of them. You get a brand new set of achievements that are introduced to you from the start, and all of them are guides. Basically, they're waypoints to, hey, maybe you should try doing this. And they give you a ton of XP for doing them. And so a new player is probably not going to get that kind of speed, right? And I could have gotten 30 in 2 hours if I had been just focusing on those. But while I was in areas, I went to go help other people and do stuff, But a new player is not going to know to just hammer those down, right? A new player is going to be playing the game, and they're going to get good XP on the way. And I think the reason they did this is because level 80 is where most of the content in that game is at. Once you hit level 80, you can do anything anywhere because it's all horizontal. There's no vertical progression from 80. So they want to push people to be able to get to 80 faster because that's one of the big complaints people have is it takes so long to level characters. But because the way this is done, a new player that, because the game just came to Steam, so a new player that has never played this game before might have been too afraid to try crafting. But now, in that new set of achievements they keep getting, which give them all this XP, there's a thing that says, choose a crafting class, and you get XP for doing that. You get a big chunk of XP just for choosing one. And then the next level is craft one item. And then it's craft 15 items, And so it slowly draws you into all the different features that the game has. And I'm going to continue leveling that character using those because I want to see how good it is towards the end game. But the early leveling process, and I mentioned this in my first video on Guild Wars that I made after the impressions video, right? The first impressions. The leveling process in the game is not, or was not, well presented, I guess, because every 10 levels you unlocked another set of story. But that means that in between those 10 levels, you just kind of run around the world doing stuff. And now with these achievements to guide you to those 10 levels, there's actually like a a tutorial almost. That is not intrusive. You can just ignore it if you want to, but it's there if you don't want to ignore it. And for new or old players that are trying to level their characters faster, it's really quick because I already know what I'm doing there. It unlocks the next tier for how much XP I already have. I hit the next tier at 27 and instantly got to 30. So there's
Wow. Okay.
it's really cool in that regard. But if you don't know what you're doing, obviously it's going to be a little bit slower. So I think that's pretty cool. And one cool thing too is it gives you a reason to level your other characters that you have, because when you complete those achievements, you get what's called a proof of legend. And if you get enough of those, you can turn them in for a special 10-year armor set.
Okay.
There's not really a lot of reason if you're at 80 to do it, because the achievements don't give achievement points, unlike the other achievements. But if you just wanted to do them real quick and get the proof of legend, I guess you could, because you're already level 80. So.
Very good.
But it's a nifty little thing.
Hey, look, 27 levels on an MMO in 2 hours is pretty good.
Yep, and especially because I just want to get this character to 80, man. I want to play Elementalist with its elite specs. I don't want to play Elementalist when it's low level and weak. I want to play it when it's at the level I already know it can be. I have gear waiting for it. I just didn't want to level Elementalist the slow way.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't enjoying it. So this is a great way around that for me. And it really does feel like the devs are saying, hey, look, honestly, we don't want to remove the leveling experience because we think it's important for people to learn how to play their classes, but the game really doesn't start till 80, so we're just going to make it faster to get there.
Yeah. That is something that's inherent in MMOs. You get, especially if people start getting to the cap, the level cap, and you want to keep them playing and keep going back. I think sometimes going back and just adding stuff to lower levels kind of gets forgotten.
It does. So. I think about very often, like with FF14, right? An MMO that I love. I adore FF14. Leveling characters in FF14 is such a pain because you really have to do the story, right? And the early story's not bad. They made it better. I've leveled probably 9 characters going through it, but it's not as good as the later stuff. And you have to hit level 15 before you can start dungeon running anyway. So, like, that first couple series of levels is just, all right, well, I'm going to have a video on them. I'm going to watch an episode of Kamen Rider Ghost or something while I'm playing and get them up there. Whereas with this, man, 2 hours for 27 levels, that is nothing. That is nothing. I'm over here. I'm watching YouTube while I'm doing it. I'm having a great time. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I like this a lot. And it means that I'll be leveling my Mesmer next. So. All right, we've been having fun, but let's talk about this absolutely terrible news. And there was a different word I wanted to use there, but didn't. HBO Max has canned all their shows, all their animated shows.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on in the just entertainment.
Yeah.
It threw me off. Warner Brothers finished Batgirl and then canceled it.
Yep.
And then this.
Yep.
I don't understand it.
I'm going to tell you right now, viewers, those of you that are in the chat, those of you that can be watching later on YouTube or watching the VOD later on Twitch, this is the most depressing story of the night and maybe the most depressing we've told in a while. 37 titles, HBO Max. Oh, we got an ad. Okay, well, wonderful time for most depressing story.
Yeah. This is horrible. What's this ad?
Capitalism! Oh, man. There's a lot I could say about that, but won't. Let me drink my off-brand soda so we don't accidentally give... I have completely switched to off... This is a weird ad discussion. I've switched to off-brand soda entirely almost, just so that when I'm recording, I don't have to worry about people going like, well, you're sponsored by them, aren't you? And you're supposed to dictate that. It's like, clearly, if I was, I would be, man. Trust me.
We have a sponsor. You're going to know. You're going to know.
Oh, and it's not just that either, Dark. That's for sure happening, but it's also like, we'll get into it once the ads are over, because there's a lot going on with these, and I don't understand. There's a lot. I just want to be able to watch TV shows, man. What? Why? Shocked you didn't get an ad? You dodged it. Well, that's another one of those achievements in the deal is dodge 3 times for Guild Wars. And I feel like they added that just so new players realize there's a dodge in this game. You should be using it.
Yes.
There are no tanks in this game. There is no aggro in this game. You should be dodging.
I don't know. I don't know what the next step for this company is.
I don't either.
With doing this, or I mean, this is it's so strong. I understand, like a show getting a reboot.
Yeah.
Or hey, we're going a new direction with this show, something like that. But just to shut them down.
Yeah. We have a whole list too, because it's 37 titles. It's insane. But the short list is stuff like the Aquaman show, the new Batman animated movie that was coming out. That's also getting canned. Sesame Street's been removed. How do you remove Sesame Street and feel good about yourself? Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs, Tick and Seek, Odo, Little Ellen, Infinity Train, Fungi, Summer Camp Island. And this is where things are going to get really sad for you here. Julia Pott, the creator of Summer Camp Island, vented her frustrations on Twitter, of course, because none of them were told this was happening. She says, we worked for 5 years to make 100 episodes of animation. We worked late into the night. We let ourselves go. We were a family of hardworking artists who wanted to make something beautiful, and HBO Max just pulled them all like they were nothing. She's gone. She even follows it up with saying, and we worked through the pandemic to make 20 linear episodes that are our most beautiful work yet. I cannot wait for you to see them. You will see them. I will not rest.
This is all like a couple of people in there just planning for the future.
Yep. So
we're going to take all this and hide it. And then as soon as it starts getting big as lost media, we're going to leak them.
That's right. I have the full list here, and we'll go over the full list at the end. But what gets me about this, the creator of Infinity Train put out a thing that was like, hey, I could go watch my show right now. I could go watch my show right now on pirate websites with explicit ads, and any of you could do the same, but my kids can't, and that's who I was making this show for. And that resonated with me. That's like, the fact that we have to pirate TV shows that were on HBO Max, the creators were not told they were being taken off, and haven't been paid their royalties because their royalties were supposed to go to healthcare that doesn't exist now because they're out of jobs.
This is just awful.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. Go ahead.
It's not like that. I just love all these shows. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me to show those shows I didn't want to watch.
Right, I'm right there with you.
But they need to be out. You picked as a company. You picked and decided to do this show.
Yep.
You gave the artists, the writers, and creators of the show leeway to do what they wanted to. And it's just a really strange drawback. Like, I fooled you. You're not going to see your dreams fulfilled.
It's so bad that the person who runs the HBO Max Twitter account definitely got fired because they put out tweets that said, hey, HBO Max just removed all of Infinity Train, so here it all is on a Google Drive so you can still watch it. And then did so with a couple other shows as well.
Yeah, I got that's pretty good. I'm sure they don't have a job.
Right.
anymore.
But what a way to stand up for the people that just lost their jobs too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me check and see if that tweet's still up.
I'm just kind of baffled, man. Like I said, it's not because there's 37 shows. They can't be all the exact same content telling you all the exact stories. They're gonna be different stories, and that's cool. That's just, I don't like seeing that many people.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Just that many people's that much work, whether they, even if they were just coming on to, hey, I need to film this part.
Yeah. That tweet is not up. That person definitely lost their job.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I do have the full list here for you. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this seems to be, and then we'll go to the full list. This seems to be just asking for people who have already used your resources to create this to pirate them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to sit here and be like piracy is great or anything like that. That's not my point.
Right.
My point is I'm sure these were dream projects for some people.
Yeah. And let's not forget, HBO Max is a subscription-based service. People were paying for these content and had the episodes removed while they were watching them.
Oh, God.
So here's the list for you. 12 Days of Christmas, About Last Night, Aquaman King of Atlantis, Close Enough, Detention Adventures, Dodo, Ellen's Next Great Designer, Elliot from Earth, Esme and Roy, The Fungies, Generation Hustle, Generation, Infinity Train, Little Ellen, Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart, Messi Goes to Okido, Mia's Magic Playground, Mighty Magiswords, My Dinner with Herv, My Mom, Your Dad, Odo, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, The Ollie and Moon Show, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness, select Sesame Street specials. It's now all of them, by the way. It's not just some of them anymore. Make It Big, Make It Small, Share, Squish, Summer Camp Island, The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, because again, we can't have any Sesame Street, The Runaway Bunny special, Theodosia, Tick and Seek, Uncle Grandpa, Victor and Valentino, and Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs. There are two things on there I want to comment on real quick. Uncle Grandpa still exists on Cartoon Network. The only reason it exists is because he's also licensed to Cartoon Network through his crossovers with two other shows, the regular show and Steven Universe. And PBS put out a big thing saying you can still stream every episode of Sesame Street on our service, which is free for all to use.
Yeah, I bet they did. I bet they jumped on that.
Yep.
But at least you give me, there's so many different stories there. And I'm sure, not every story, obviously, but there's a bunch of different stories there. There's no, in my mind, I don't see any similar pattern.
Right. It's all just their animation. That's it. And Sesame Street.
I'm wondering, did legal screw up a licensing deal?
Could be.
What happened?
Could be. Meanwhile, HBO Max continues to tweet out new stuff about their Game of Thrones show. So, talking about how nothing will burn that house down.
Yeah, because the last one ended so well.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely not insulting at all to talk about how nothing will burn this down when you just burn down your entire animation department.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is ugly. This is just ugly.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think they rightfully should be called out for it. I think the fact that the internet's dragging them across the coals right now is very apt.
Yeah.
So, all right. Can you pull us out of that bad news, Rundgren? Can you reveal to us, as we throw it over to your corner, what the prediction was?
All right. Well, first of all, we're going to start off with a happy birthday. And if you don't know, do you know who you should know in the history of cinema who James Caan is?
Yeah.
Well, it's not his birthday. It's his son's birthday. Scott Conn,
Okay.
who was in Hawaii 5-0 and who apparently was in a rap group, and he was known as Mad Skills. So you
Oh,
may want to. Yes.
no, I don't think I will.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So to go into the story for the night. Now, as you know, we have been bringing you the important stories of uprising around the world. Chess robots in Russia, ants in South America, the gray squirrel across the UK. Well, now the animals are coming for paradise.
So the outcome is it was animals.
Most of you probably have heard of a little place called Hawaii. Well, they're having a problem and they are being at war with feral chickens. For months, the Hawaiians have been dealing with a lot of chickens. They are loud, they are aggressive, and the biggest crime of all, they poop on everything.
Of course.
Now, the state has tried to handle this, and here's what's holding up. They've tried traps. They've actually gone through a couple of things trying to control this. They've
Right.
got public service announcements about, don't feed them. People still got to put out the trash.
Yeah.
And this is really strange because this is actually blamed on two hurricanes that hit Hawaii and destroyed chicken coops. And they got out.
Trying to
What
tell
are
me
the,
there was a chicken cane?
Yes, yeah, yes, new from Sharknado. Chicken cane. Yes. And look, if you've been around chickens or you had chicken, these things are noisy. They don't shut up. And obviously, the more of them they are, the louder they are.
Right.
Now, the two hurricanes that were talked about, Hurricane Iwa, and Iniki, which struck Iowa struck in 1982,
Okay.
and the next one was 10 years later in 1992. Like I said, wrecked chicken coops. Chickens got out, and it turned out whole paradise is a good place for chickens.
Right.
It was a good place for them to grow. The state legislature has tried to put forward laws, and I'm sure there's going to be two sides on this. The problem is the problem that people are having with it is in the law. They're trying to come up with ways to eradicate the chickens.
Right.
And I don't know if
Napalm.
there's a humane way to solve this problem.
Napalm.
But
White
would work.
phosphorus.
Look, I mean, Hawaii's had a pretty volcanic history.
Yeah.
So right now, to what's stopping up the legislation, the state legislation with the state governors, state government taking care of this, is the word eradicate.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, look, invasive species are weird.
Yes.
They've got in this area along the southern United States, you have invasive hogs. They've got up in sections of Mississippi, they have invasive carp.
Right.
An area in Florida, they've got an invasive species of parasitic bug that attaches itself.
I just watched a video on that today. What are the chances from Tom Scott about the carp?
The invasive carp?
Yeah, how they literally have a section of the river electrified.
Yes.
To stop them.
Yeah, because if they get to the Great Lakes,
it's over.
Great Lakes, that's going to ruin the Great Lakes. So I really hope that Hawaii gets this solved. I am not going to, to me, it seems like it will take a lot of BBs, but that might not be, but people don't want that answer.
Right.
So, but for just peace and the peace of Hawaii, and to help stop the uprising, I don't know what choices you have.
Right.
Alliance, we stand with you as you get ready to battle the chickens.
Look, Australia had the Great Emu War,
And they lost.
and they lost. So, Hawaii, you have to be ready to do what you got to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's there's uprisings all over the planet. If the chickens side, I don't think the chickens are going to side with the ants.
Right.
And but it does look like the ants are looking for a peace deal with the robot. So we'll keep you informed as uprisings continue.
Right. Absolutely. Looking forward to Callisto Protocol, Lies of Pinocchio, Under the Waves, Atlas Fallen, Scars Above, and High on Life. And we didn't cover everything that came up during Gamescom because I didn't get to watch every trailer, but I watched as many as I could.
Well, but I think we kind of approach a lot of these a little bit cynically. Some of the game trailers, because, as we have said, and we'll probably keep saying, games are going to look beautiful now. They can't.
Yeah.
They just should, unless you're trying to make it not.
Show me gameplay.
Let us see gameplay. Let's see what you're doing, what we're going to be doing in the game. So it should get you excited. There's going to be stuff in there that should get you pumped up, should get you excited.
Right.
But we do have a little bit of cynical side when it comes to those too.
There were individual trailers too. Okay. I'll have to go check some of them out then. I have a plug tonight.
Okay.
So I found this channel the other day, and I instantly fell in love with the way that he makes content. The channel's name is Valefisk, or Valifisk. But he made, and I'm going to link this video in the chat. That's how impressed I am with it. He made a board game and tabletop simulator for his friends that is one of the most painful games to play that I've ever seen in my life. It is absolutely, like, playing that would drain years off of your life. But it was sure funny to watch. And I come to find out that's what this guy does. He makes, like, a video game that is just to torture his friends, and he found a race in Halo custom games that is just made to torture people, and he made a bunch of people run it. And that kind of, like, he made a special version of Monopoly and rigged a GeoGuessr tournament. There's something about that kind of content that just speaks to me. And I find it really cool.
Right on, man.
So if you want to watch a guy torture somebody, there you go. And then lastly, I want to plug the Full Spectrum Guild in Guild Wars 2. The game is free to play now on Steam as well. So if you download it from there and you come to check our stuff out, check us out. We don't have anything to offer you, but you can wear our name.
Yeah. Yeah. And Landerval and Lord of the Rings. You can come there and join Talons of the Stormcrow.
He's actually got a house to share.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe we have a kinship house. A kinship island.
Yeah.
I work very hard to get.
Do you have any other plugs?
Yeah, I'd like to call out, Bright Life Gaming. He's done he talks about a few different MMOs, and I think he's got really good honest content. I think he plays what he likes and keeps it simple, talking about what he's excited for, what he sees and everything. Bright Life Gaming. I think it's about this, maybe about the same size as we are.
Okay.
About the same size as we are as far as subs go. So check him out.
Look forward to Thursday stream, covering more Mordenkainen monsters. Friday stream, we'll be building more Barbados. Of course, somewhere in the end of this week and next week, we'll start doing videos on Battle Alliance, SD Gundam Battle Alliance. So look forward to that. There'll be a lot of those, I'm sure. Then there'll be more Guild Wars content. There'll be more Strangers in Paradise stuff as I keep going through there. More Digimonster 5. All that fun stuff. But realistically, I think like I still have to get Xenoblade later in the year, but I think that I'm pretty much good on my big names for the year unless something surprises me. My top 10's pretty much rounded out already, I think. So,
Well, we're coming up on November,
mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure we're going to have some big drops then.
Yeah.
Yes. Figure out if it has crossplay.
Yeah.
Find out.
I'm stoked. All right, then. We're ending a little early. Battle Alliance for the weekend. We'll have to see. I do have plans this weekend that I unfortunately cannot get out of that involve my other job. So we shall see. But and then of course I have plans with other stuff that we don't talk about on the show. So I don't know why I even brought it up. The thing that we do that makes it sound like we're doing something right. Makes it sound like we're doing something really like weird. Regardless, you know, life continues, channel continues, stuff continues, and we'll be back Thursday. So, with all that said, I've been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
We've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Oof has to offer.